Welcome back, everybody, to episode 58 of Off the Field Podcast. Today, I am honored with our guest. It is the Bat Boys, Eric and Liam. Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Doing amazing on this Monday.
Yeah, about to head back to spring training.
That segues perfectly because I'm also going to spring training this weekend, and that is what's been inside this briefcase. We play a little teaser with our Instagram. That is what we're announcing. Spring training right there for all of you. I will be there this weekend. And, I just heard Eric was telling me before I hit record that you guys are also going to be out there. So maybe we meet up. That'd be cool. But for now, we got the podcast, and I'm excited to interview you guys, and especially when you guys are the ones doing all the interview. And let's get to know the Bat Boys.
Let's do it.
So let's start right here. You guys are absolutely killing it. You have 108,000 subscribers on YouTube, 176,000 followers on Instagram, and 371,000 followers on TikTok. That is insane. You have grown to be one of the biggest names in baseball content creating space, providing viewers with amazing interviews of many MLB players, also other well-known people outside of baseball world as well. However, I want to start this podcast with saying we all start at zero. Everybody starts from the ground and we work our way up. Yep. So I want to know, on what day, what inspired you guys to finally just do it and start from the ground and start building?
How much time you got? Liam, you want to tell it?
We got all the time in the world.
Yeah, we started the page way back in 2020. We kind of lost our senior seasons. Really, Liam did to COVID with everything that was going on during the pandemic. And Liam filmed a day in the life, just sort of like what it had been like as an athlete. And I just stayed up all night one night watching YouTube and texted Liam like as the sun was rising. I was like, hey man, we got all this time now. We're about to move off to college. Like we should have a page dedicated just to baseball. We had done some fan pages and stuff for the Nationals before and, played on teams here. But I was like, we should do a page just devoted to all kinds of baseball content. And that's kind of how it kicked off. We started doing everything we could on a baseball field in 2020, even though fans weren't allowed. In 2021, we started doing fan vlogs and just traveling all along the East Coast, trying to hit up as many stadiums as possible. And then in 2022, it kind of all changed when Liam made a trip down to the Fred Nats, if you want to pick up there, Liam.
Yeah, so summer 2022, we just started trying to do the interviews. We'd done it before with, like, as fans calling out to players at empty minor league games from the bleachers and stuff like that. But we started to get credentials with some of the minor league teams were the Salem Red Sox, Bowie Bay Sox, Independent League, Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. And then when I went to the Fredericksburg Nationals, the director of communications there put me in contact with the director of communications for the Washington Nationals. And that is what opened the door for the MLB credentials. And then since then, it's just kind of been a similar series of random connections. Cause you can't just waltz in and get credentials to talk to MLB players. You need people to vouch for you. You need resumes and examples of past work and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's just been kind of a slow process. Looking back now, it seems like it's gone so fast, but it's a tedious process of getting credentials at all these different spots and stuff.
Yeah. And, we grew up going to Nats and Orioles games and, to get to go there and do our work every day and talk to the players and share it with their fans. It was just such a cool moment for us.
I love when we have content creators on because they always seem to know what questions are coming next without being asked. What we had coming up was, what did you guys do to get the opportunity to actually get the access to talking to players on the field instead of being the fans, screaming their name, being like, hey, can we ask you just one question?
Absolutely belligerent.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. The first thing that I think was the Salem Red Sox DM'd us on TikTok.
Oh, really?
They saw the message, they saw the videos that we were making. They were like, hey, we'd love to have you guys out to the game sometime. We'd love, if you want to film some of your videos at the ballpark on an off day, just come out and make you guys, do whatever you want to do. And that to us is such a cool feeling. And then the Blue Crabs contacted us and they were like, hey, we want you to do the same thing. So I took an opportunity there where I was like, okay, I can work there this summer and interview the team and we could talk to them. And then we started doing minor league and major league work all at the same time. So Those two teams, I think, really, kind of saw what we were doing at the start and reached out to us and kind of just give us the opportunity to say, hey, come do what you do here.
Like with
That's
credentials,
awesome.
like it's actually
And
official now.
Yeah,
Yeah, verified. No longer have to like
yeah,
play around and sneak around.
yeah,
You're in.
no, it's always great to have like direct access.
yeah.
But to our next segue, as far as you guys' friendship, I mean, when did you guys first actually like meet and start hanging out together?
Summer after fourth grade, we played on
Mhm.
an all-star team together.
Damn,
Like summer
Yeah.
ball. Like we always played
You guys are locked
together
in.
in house league. But yeah, that was the first summer we played on the same team together. And then we both kind of realized pretty quick that we had similar, like deeper passions for baseball. Like we were both the kids that would show up right when gates opened at Nationals Park for batting practice. We were both the kids who would go see like MLB guys on rehab, like an hour down the road in Woodbridge, Virginia. And we would both like try to get autographs and stuff like that. So I feel like that's how we connected. Like we were both like obsessed with baseball.
They did it again, bro. So we asked how long did you guys know each other, and then the next one was what makes you two work so well together.
They're reading our brains right now.
And
I swear.
Liam, you killed it with the answer right there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think most people listening have gotten an idea by this point, but you guys, Nationals fans, right?
Yeah, I got a little bit of ties to the Orioles because that was like my dad's team growing up, and Liam's got family in Pittsburgh and Boston, so got some love there too.
Okay. Who are your favorite players growing up?
I would say Bryce Harper was probably my guy. Just the way that he played the game, it was always I was like, oh, I want to play with that kind of intensity and stuff. And then when he left for Philly, it stung. It stung bad, but get to meet him in person and talk to him and realize, you know, he's human and he's doing great things in Philadelphia now. I think Bryce is still just was my favorite player growing up, and seeing the moments he's having in Philly now, it's incredible.
Funny thing was, I was going to use the word intensity, and the first thing that comes to my head when I think of Bryce Harper as a National is how fast and intense he went into that wall at Dodger Stadium. Like, Fella's engine is just firing all the time.
Yeah.
What about you, Liam, growing up?
So I was like a huge Red Sox fan growing up more than the Nationals. Just because my dad was a big Red Sox fan, but Jacoby Ellsbury, David Ortiz, Dustin Pedroia, like that 2007 to 2013 core. Those are my guys.
The team that crushed my childhood.
Team that dominated, I swear.
Yeah, for real. You have interviewed so many players, and I don't blame you guys if this answer might take a minute, but who are some of your favorite players you've interviewed? I know there's hundreds, but if there were any that came to mind, who would you say?
I mean, there's like the coolest interactions, and then there's like the coolest people. So it's like my favorites are kind of a mix of both. Like obviously talking to David Ortiz was absolutely surreal for me. But then someone like Michael Chavis, who's the first player to ever like flip the mic on me mid-interview.
No way.
He's been like a friend of ours ever since we first met him. He played with the Nationals last year just by coincidence.
Yeah.
And we text him all the time and stay in touch and stuff like that. So like Richie and Josh Palacios are guys like that too, who are just like such genuine cool guys. Tristan McKenzie, a lot of the guys from that Bahamas trip, and I know they're involved in Baseball Generations stuff too. Like Jazz is a great dude. Nick Bolton,
he's awesome.
Dom Smith.
Yeah, they're all great guys.
Yeah, I'd say a guy that I'm excited to talk to again in DC, hopefully at some point this year, is Jesse Winker.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's always just been a personal favorite interview of mine because I don't know, whatever wires got crossed in my brain before. I was thinking of Dan Winkler, the reliever, and for whatever reason I said, all right, I'm here with Jesse Winkler, and he quickly corrected me. He goes, oh, it's Winker. And he's like, oh, he goes, and I felt so bad about it. I told him, I was like, I can redo it and everything, and do the intro again and stuff. He's like, you got to take it off the chin, man. You got to live with it. And I was like, yeah. I was like, that's true. I was like, the people online will eat this up. They'll love it. So,
and obviously, you got a lot of cool interviews, a lot of cool interactions. But who are the guys that are killing it comedy? Who are some of the funniest interviews you guys have had? One that I remember watching when you guys put it up was your interview with Joey Votto. I remember that one being one that gave me a good laugh.
Yeah, I think Liam can attest to this more, but Kike Hernandez has always been one of our favorite interviews.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, that Votto interview was so weird just because like the jokes genuinely did fly over my head. Like I looked back, and he was like, "No, we call it the province of baseball in Canada," and I was like, just in the moment, I was like, "Okay, I guess that's just what they call it or
You're
something."
like, yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I don't like. It was just
And
such a like that guy's so interesting, and yeah, I feel like I just handled it best I could. Just went with it,
Yeah.
tried to match.
He's one of those guys that you don't know if he's screwing with you or he's being genuine. So you kind of, like you said, you kind of just got to be like, yeah, man.
Yep.
Like, I got it.
Cool.
now, it's not just baseball players. There's been a bunch of interviews from people like Canelo, Mike Tyson, Metro Boomin, Johnny Manziel, Kai Cenat. Metro Boomin's a personal favorite, just because I mean I see the Travis poster right behind Liam right now.
Yeah.
And you know he knows I just that little snippet about talking about leaked music. I mean you get it, bro. There's so many good songs out there that get dropped. But as far as what Metro was talking about, you know, as long as you're supporting the artist, that's cool. What's one of your favorite interviews from non-baseball people?
Honestly, the Javante Davis ones were really cool. Like we've gone to two of his fights now, hoping to go to more in the future. But when we first got that opportunity, we didn't really know anything about boxing, and I didn't realize like how like significant this dude is, like how he's literally one of the best boxers in the world. And I just thought that was so cool because I like I didn't try to like make myself seem like a boxing interview or whatever. I still asked kind of questions just from a curious sports fan and like a pop culture fan. And like those interviews did really well because I was just talking to him like a normal dude. And I feel like that's kind of the same theme we take into all our interviews, like whoever we interview.
Yeah, I think like another cool one for me is like Dallas Goder. Like we went to a Devontae Smith's charity softball game last summer and got to talk to a lot of football players there, and just yeah, like hearing his take on like a lot of our baseball questions from the football perspective. Like it's always interesting to hear that insight.
Now, I'm sure out of all the hundreds of interviews you guys have done, are there any that have not made it out of the editing bay? You don't have to say who or anything like that, but are there any where just you weren't, you're like, oh, we can't use this one or something like that?
Well, I know there was one in Arizona where I didn't have the mic rolling, so or I didn't have one of them on, so it ultimately became useless. But
Oh my god, yeah. I've been in that situation as a content creator. It's like the most defeating feeling. You're like, damn.
I remember the early days when he was starting to vlog and I'd be with him just kind of like as he's editing bits and pieces and he just gets to something so frustrating. And it was like one of your early videos that got like blown out by the audio because the mic wasn't running. It just all you hear is
Yeah, some audio like you gotta nail it because at least like if you nail the audio, you can be heard. Like even if your video quality is like zoom in and motion blur and whatever, at least you're hearing what the person's saying.
yeah.
But I also would love to know how you guys decide on this. How do you decide who's going to interview who? Because each video, sometimes it's Eric, sometimes it's Liam. How do you guys pick like, okay, this one's you?
It's pretty like up in the air for every single one. And, sometimes like we just go with whoever is more passionate about talking to a certain guy. Like sometimes like say we're gonna see the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Eric's like, all right, I'm gonna do a ton of research for Kershaw. I really want to talk to Kershaw. And then I'm like, I really want to talk to Mookie. I'll like do a ton of research on Mookie. And then it's also kind of easy when I'm the only one who speaks Spanish. So I just talk to the Spanish speaking guys, and then Eric will get English speaking guys.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that was how you guys handled it, and I would approach it the same way. Like, if I'm applying it to baseball players, if it was ever Francisco Lindor, that'd be him all day. He loves Francisco Lindor. And,
The
like,
GOAT.
for me, it'd be Nick Swisher. Nick Swisher was, like, my idol growing up. Like, so, like, if we were put in that situation, that's how I assume we'd handle it as well. And that's how I assumed you guys did it. It was just like, okay, you kind of relate to him more. Why don't you do this one? And I think that's a good way to handle it as well. And you can get this next one right here, Mobo.
Gotta ask the bent handle. You got to explain to us the mic.
So it all started. We made a trip to Victus, and like the night before, like we went to the facility. I told Liam, I'm like, dude, we should have like a microphone that like is kind of like baseball bat in its presentation, like somehow. And the next morning we got there, they presented us with this gift. Doug Trimble from Victus was like, hey, we got these for you. And it was just like a little stick at the, just the nub of the handle. And it said Bat Boys Baseball. And I'm like, dude, this is so funny. I was like, just the other night, like we were talking about this, and like it's kind of just taken off since then. Yeah, I think it kind of just, like Liam said, like it changed, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely a trademark of you guys now. Like when people think of your videos, they think of the little red like bat handle.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you have a Rode mic on there, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Just taped
Just
on.
taped on.
Do you tape it on every time, or do you just leave it on there?
Well, we got to charge it. So
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
Yep.
we
Take it off.
reapplied the tape.
Charge
But
it, tape it. Take
people
it
have
off.
told us like to upgrade it just for it's more professional. But like the amount of like laughs we've got from people who just like see it, they're just like, "What is this?" But they
I
love
think
it,
it's
so
great.
I feel like it works and it fits the vibe.
Yeah, because when these Rode mics started popping off, I noticed that was a huge thing with people who had them. They would put them on like the strangest objects.
Yeah,
Like people would put them on like their hydro flask. They'd put like anything it could clip onto. They would
Yeah.
just like, "Hey man, like how you doing?" You're like, "You got like a glow stick?" What
What the heck is that? It reminds me of Benny when he did like the full
Oh
nail
my
through.
God.
Our
If it-
buddy Benny did a full nail through his like Dodger hat to clip on his GoPro.
Yeah, before GoPros had like
I did that too.
head mount.
I did that
Did you
with
really?
the Nationals hat because I wanted to like film myself ball hawking, and I like
Yeah,
I,
no
did,
way.
I did it like one time, and then I was like, wait, this looks goofy as hell. Like I can't wear this to the yard every time.
No, and he rocked it for like multiple games when
No,
he first started,
like
right?
a ton. Well, he did like every step he needed. He drilled a hole through the hat, the bill, and then he took a washer and nut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you have to bolt it on. It's a whole
yeah, dude. And I'm sure that was killing his neck. I'm sure he was.
I can just imagine him getting the gun mid game, like, all right.
Yeah, a little tying it up, a little adjustment. Remember, everybody, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And Liam, you were explaining how in multiple videos you talk to the Latino players because you know Spanish. When did you start learning Spanish? What made you want to start learning Spanish? And what was that journey been with the language?
yeah. So I've taken it all throughout elementary, middle, high school, and into college. But I remember like when I was like trying to get autographs, like this is back like 2014, 2015. Like I realized that like it was always awkward between like fans and Latino players just because of the language barrier. And like it's like so simple. Like literally you can just say hola or like something like that to kind of break that ice. And I remember we went to a camp with the Potomac Nationals. Like they're gone now, but they're the Nats High affiliate. And like players were coaches, and like the Latino players weren't really talking to as many kids and stuff just because like of the language barrier. But this one guy, Pedro Severino,
I don't remember.
we Eric and I were both there. We went up to him and we're kind of like hanging out with him, like talking in like the like very little Spanish that we knew. But then we actually made a fan page for him and like stayed in touch with him. That's kind of how I got like the spark of like into Dominican culture. And then we like I've always been into Spanish music, stuff like that. But I like what really kind of took it to the next level was just trying to do the interviews in Spanish. And that started when we were fans just calling out from the bleachers. And like it was so awkward in the beginning. Like I did not know what I was doing, but like I realized how much the players appreciated that I would try. So just from there I kind of like stopped caring if I messed up, but like I was just kind of all in on trying it.
Yeah.
And it's just gotten better like gradually as like I practice more, do more interviews, and now I like listen to podcasts in Spanish, watch shows in Spanish, like listen to Spanish music all the time. So it's a process. It's coming together.
Yeah, and I agree with everything you said. I think the players see it as very respectful, especially if it's their language, because it's a worldwide sport, baseball, everybody. And so if they're coming over, they're playing over here, and they hear all this English, maybe they know a little, maybe they don't really know any. If they hear their native language, they're like, oh, and you notice anybody that talks to them in their native language, they're more likely to be like, oh, yeah, man, I'll take a picture, sign a ball, because you're able to communicate with them on something they feel comfortable now that you're talking to them in their language. And I've seen that with Latino players, Japanese players. As soon as they hear somebody speaking in their language, they're like, oh, well, no way. I mean, I kind of had the same reaction when I was in Japan. and I sat right next to somebody at Sumo, and they were asking me about me filming, like in vlogging and stuff, and they just were like, "Oh, are you a YouTuber?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Like I just couldn't believe like somebody was speaking English. I was like, "Wow, yeah, I do YouTube," and it just threw me off. I did not expect it one bit.
That's beautiful.
What do you want to improve on when it comes to speaking Spanish with the players or just in general?
I really want to improve on understanding like the fast, like really fast, like slang Spanish. And that's like you can only like practice that, I feel like, with conversations with
Yeah.
Latino players. So
Yeah.
but yeah, sometimes it's just so hard to understand, and it's like literally some of these Dominican words, like they're not even, you can't even like Google them. like what they mean. And
The flow is crazy to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Mobile, you're very fluent in Spanish. Out of all the cultures that come with Latino, what do you think is the fastest speaking? Like who like
I feel like it's neck and neck with you. Okay, I'll rank it no specific order. I'll throw Mexico in the ring because there's
Okay.
some people from in the heartland that speak in. Dude, they speak on double speed. I feel like the Dominican Republic for sure they speak pretty fast. But if I had to really pick one and pinpoint it, I would say Colombians. I
Yeah.
have a friend who's Colombian. Well, I knew two people that are Colombian. One friend super angry. You cannot get a dude. You cannot understand him for like 2 minutes straight. And then the other person that I knew, she was a family friend, and she would tell off people for like 10 minutes straight, but you wouldn't know what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot explain it.
I don't have as many years under my belt as you, Liam. I took 2 years in high school, 1 in college, so I can pick up on what a conversation is about. But that's my main problem is like the people who have that as their main language, they speak it so fast. And even though I might know the words, it goes by so quickly that I'm like, what? I get so lost. So, yeah.
Well, it's no surprise that with something as awesome as what you guys do, you guys get to travel a lot. Where have been some of your favorite spots that you've traveled? I mean, just to start right off the bat, I saw everything you guys posted on Dubai. That looked insane.
Yeah, honestly, that was definitely my favorite trip in recent memory. Yeah, I mean, just getting to go across the world like that is such a memorable experience for us, and getting to be part of history with Baseball United, branching out with this
Yeah.
league that's trying something for the first time. I mean, that was definitely like my favorite place that I think we've been able to travel to.
yeah, and like that trip was so like so unique. Like I could not have foreseen that like 2 years ago. Like
Mhm.
just yeah, bringing baseball to the Middle East, and then with the players, like we were staying in the same hotel with Robbie Cano, like Albert Pujols, Pablo Sandoval, and we're just like going to
Absolute
dinners with
legends.
these guys and like getting to know them. It's actually just ridiculous.
That's insane.
But my favorite trips by far have been our two to the DR this past
Yeah.
year. Just because it's just so cool to kind of like connect the dots from like where all these MLB stars come from, and like just their passion for baseball in that country is just unlike anything I've ever seen.
I got to see if I can reignite this spark with Captain America. You guys know from the softball games, everybody listening. His father, Papa Cat, plays in a Sunday league, and I was doing a little vlog of him playing, mic'd up and everything. And then one of his teammates is like, "Oh, what are you doing here? YouTube? How'd you like to do that in the Dominican Republic?" And I was like, "What?" Like, and then, dude, we tried to get him after the game because he was like, "Oh, let's exchange info." Dude dipped so fast. I was like, "All right, game's over. Let me give him my card." I'm like, "Where'd he go?" He was gone. But yeah, I would love to go there one day. And what was that flight to Dubai? How long is that?
Oh,
I think it was like 12 and a half or like there. Well, so we flew to Toronto. So
Okay.
we went from Newark then that was coming back. So on the way there, we stopped in London. It was split up like
it was
7 and
14 hours total.
Yeah. Coming
Yeah.
back, we went straight to Canada. So that was an experience.
Yeah, I think I watched all 3 Creed movies. Just back to
That's a
back
good
to
way to
back.
kill time. Are you guys able to sleep on flights? I can't sleep on a flight.
I
No.
wish I was better at it.
Yeah.
I know. I suck at it, dude. I cannot for the life of me. But Art, if you know Art, dude, Art knocks out like that. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
That's about to be me, though, in September. I'm going to Germany, Italy, and everything. It's like a 12-hour flight. It's like that long. And I'll be awake watching, I don't even know what, but probably will not get 1 minute of sleep.
I vote that you go through all the Shrek movies just in one go.
All of them.
All of them.
Maybe by then Kung Fu Panda will hit the airplanes, and then I can just run Kung Fu Panda 1 through 4.
All right, so you guys are both very into your style, and you guys always got the freshest looks out there. But we got to ask, what are some of your go-to MLB hats that you guys like rocking?
So there's two that I really like.
Mm.
One is the Potomac Nationals. It's this like navy hat and the P logo with like some patriotic touch in there. And it's like discontinued. I always love like vintage stuff that's not around anymore. And then I have a Brooklyn Dodgers hat that I think is so fresh because like I'm a Red Sox fan, so I like the B, and I know the B is a little different. But I love the way the B looks with the white and blue.
I don't know. My old roommate, he used to tell me, he said, I don't think your head was meant for hats. I don't think your head was built for hats. So I usually stick away from that. It's more rock with sunglasses if the sun's getting in my eyes. But
that's like one of those like 2024 like disses where like have you seen those TikToks where people are saying like everyone's disses are getting more evolved? Like nobody's just saying like, oh, you look dumb. Like everyone's like, oh, you look like your face just got hit by like a cast iron skillet going 70 miles an hour. Like I
most obscure like
I'd be sitting there like, okay.
Like, why am I getting flamed this bad? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, but I would say I think the new A's spring training hats. I mean, all the spring training hats this year look super fire, but the A's always come out with the best. I mean, the elephant, you can't beat that logo, that look.
Oh yeah.
That's clean.
Just ordered, I don't think it's the Angels spring training one. I think it's our batting practice one. It's the state of California with the halo around it.
Yes.
And I just ordered that one.
Mm-hmm.
And another hat that I'm debating on buying, I have to figure out what team it's affiliated with. But I was looking, you know how minor league teams, they'll have like their alternate days.
Yeah.
So they'll have like a new name, new uniform or something. There's a team where their name is the Exploding Whales. It's a whale with a stick of dynamite. And I was like, dude, I don't know what team affiliates with this Exploding Whales, but I want it.
That's terrifying. Just let's stick a dynamite in the blowhole.
No, he's like holding it like a bat.
Wow.
And I'm assuming it's a city on the East Coast where it's like one of those ones where a whale washed up on shore or something like that, and then it got all bloated and they're like, you know what? Exploding Whales.
That's gonna sell.
We're doing it. They got some crazy ones in the minor leagues for sure. I've seen those Chewbacca jerseys that I wish I remember what team it was, but they look like Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And so
flying chanclas.
the flying.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have. Oh my
Classic.
God, is it visible? I don't know where it is. I have a Fernando Tatis flying chanclas bobblehead.
Yo,
It's somewhere up there.
that's awesome.
But so that's the answer for hats. I'm gonna ask you guys for your go-to pair of shades and kicks as well.
Hold on. I got mine right here. These Argons. These Liam's got me good to the shoe game, and these are my favorites. These are my go-tos for kicks. Shades. I don't know. The new 100% Visions. The Liam's. They're good. They treat us right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like those. Yeah.
Mine have to be like my fake Cartier shades. They're not like direct like fakes, but they're just like they look like Cartier shades, but I just got them on Amazon for $15.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, no, he's got the right mentality. I tried doing those with Prada glasses. I
They
don't
go
wanna
with a
spend
lot of
half a rack
outfits,
on that.
and when I was wearing them in my interview with Jose Ramirez, he asked if they were Cartier. He thought they were Cartier. So I'm like, hey, I did something right.
Like style.
Yeah. What about kicks?
I don't know if you guys know what Poshmark is. It's like it's like a all clothes, like kind of reselling site. But I got a pair of Dior shoes on Poshmark for only like $300, which is like,
nice.
and like they retail for like 1,200 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I got like a crazy good deal on these Dior shoes, and then I had to kind of restore them. Like I put in like the soles from Converse's. So it was like a little personal project, and then I like cleaned them up in their like real like good looking Dior shoes, and all the players love that because they love their designer brands.
And now I'm going to hit you guys with one of your own right here. how many chains is too many chains? I got a Dirty Mids one on right now.
Yeah.
What is your guys' answer?
So you caught me without any chains.
Wait, am I wearing more chains than Liam right now? Hey, might be the first time ever. I think 3 is like 3 to 4. That's kind of where I would never do 4 at a time, but like 5 is too many. That's where I would draw the line.
I've worn up to 5, like seriously, I feel like.
Mhm.
So it would be like past 5 is the limit.
Okay.
5 is good, but 6 is overdoing it.
Yeah, that's too much.
That's just too much.
Yeah, but sometimes the 5 does not look good.
Now, you guys love exchanging questions about music in your videos too. So, top 3 favorite artists right now.
Ooh.
Go.
Young Gravy
Rotation.
is always at the top for me.
Yes.
A big Young Gravy fan. I'd say Young Gravy. I'm gonna throw Metro Boomin in there just because he did the Spider-Man soundtrack, and I'm obsessed with every song in that
So good.
movie. So Metro Boomin, Young Gravy, and Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay, I did not see that coming.
Meg for sure.
What?
Yeah, those would be my top 3, just all over the place. But yeah,
Okay, so I got El Alpha.
yeah.
Dominican Dembo. Best music
Nice.
to work out to by far.
Always a blast.
And then Pop Smoke, rest in peace. I still bump Pop Smoke all the time. He actually on El Alpha's new album, they released a song together that had been recorded before he passed away. And Pop Smoke's Panamanian. Not a lot of people know that. So he had some songs in Spanish, so he likes to dip into the Latino roots. And then it's got to be like Drake or Travis Scott, just like mainstream fire rap.
Better watch out, bro. Travis is watching over you right behind you right now.
Yeah.
And now we'll end this podcast kind of doing it rapid fire style. We got just 4 questions right here, and as fast as you can think of an answer, we'll do it. So, first one, walk-up song.
I think Kevin Newman is probably the best I ever read. Wait, go. Oh my gosh! Now I can't think of the name of it. It's the one Kanye song.
Hey, if you can sing it, sing it.
I could. Can't Tell Me Nothing. Yeah.
Oh,
That-
okay.
I think-
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think
Yeah.
that was really.
Can't tell me nothing.
Yeah. That would be mine.
Trey Turner had Look Ahead by Future,
Good
and that one went so crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We go, we go.
Now, for the second question, favorite ballpark food. Go.
Hot dog.
Classic.
I mean, that's just my favorite food. Periods. I mean, it's just
Yeah, but you always complain about when it's a bad hot dog.
yeah. Because I mean,
Okay,
hot dogs
we
are
need
simple.
to discuss this right
Yeah,
now.
hold on.
Are Costco hot dogs valid?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, good.
Valid.
That's
Just
not where
making
I
sure.
was leading. I was leading kind of on the same idea as Liam. How whenever we go to BJ's, half our table will order, ribeye, prime rib, and then every time they complain, they're like, "It's not cooked right." Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
'cause it's hard to botch a hot dog. Like if the bun is still like that's
True.
I'm like,
I mean,
if
you're
you
right.
fuck up a hot dog, I'm gonna complain about it. Part of my language.
You're good. Liam, ballpark food favorite?
I love cheesesteaks at the ballpark. I think that's always
Cheesesteak,
so crazy.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
my
always
God.
only one spot to get them in every ballpark, but
Mhm.
I always feel like the man when I find a cheesesteak.
Well, speaking of ballparks, favorite MLB stadium?
For me,
we're killing Liam. He's like, oh man.
for me, it's always Nationals Park. Just growing up and going there, we have so many great memories there. But Camden Yards is absolutely beautiful. That ballpark is just timeless, and love going to see a game there. It's always good there.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's my favorite.
PNC has a beautiful skyline too. I mean, they're just
When I went to Pittsburgh, I was blown away. I knew from the pictures. I was like, I have to go here just based on pictures and videos and watching highlights. And as soon as I went there, went to the top deck behind home plate, and I was like, oh my God, how do you end up with this good of a view at a ballpark?
Yeah.
Amazing. And I want to complete my journey to 30 this year for all the ballparks. Camden and Nationals Park are both on there, and I'm hoping to do those both on one trip. And if I make that trip, I'll definitely be hitting you guys up right away. I know you guys are traveling all the time, but hopefully you guys will be in DC whenever I do that trip. And then the final one that we have here, your favorite unis in baseball. which ones look the best?
It's got to be like active unis right now.
We'll go all time, and we'll go right now.
Okay, because all time the Nationals, just the brick lettering across the front when they moved to DC.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
They got those ones right, and since then we've been throwing a lot of jerseys. We've been throwing a lot of jerseys in the mix, and they're getting back to it now with the Washington across the front. I like it, but
do you guys like the City Connect? I know they're ditching it for some reason, but do you guys like it?
I like it. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, the only thing that I don't love about it is the big WSH across the front. Like, I wish they just stuck with like the curly W, or come up with something a little more creative than just the letters. I mean, I like the design, but they could have definitely done better. But yeah, I don't know why they're cutting them.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I
just got mine like 2 years ago.
I was like, out of all the teams to just be like, yeah, we're not going to use our City Connect anymore. Why that one? Yeah. I did not get it. But Liam,
there's like two jerseys that kind of come to mind with favorite jerseys. One is the Red Sox 2013 home jerseys that say Boston instead of say Red Sox. Ended up winning the World Series that year. And then the Kansas City Monarchs jerseys that the Royals sometimes wear.
Okay.
I think those are so cool.
I got a Monarchs hat in that closet somewhere. I just went to Kansas City last year. Yeah, what about uniforms today, 2024? What would you pick as your favorite in-use uniform currently?
I think my favorite is the Marlins City Connect. That one is just that when they dropped that one, they got it right. And they knocked it out of the park, no pun intended. I think that's the best jersey in the MLB right now.
Jazz was born to wear that jersey.
Oh, yeah. What would you say, Liam, for uniforms used today?
I'm trying to think of some of the City Connects.
Yeah, Angels.
I mean, they still use the Kansas City throwbacks. Like the Nationals used to dress up as the Grays. The Pirates have dressed up as the Crawfords.
Yeah.
I love. I feel like that's just like my favorite jerseys now are the throwback ones, but
yeah. That's all good.
Yeah, I like the D-backs City Connects.
That's dude, also clean. I love those ones, especially that they made it serpentines with the snake. That was sick. And I do got to say, on the topic of City Connects, I think 9 teams are getting a City Connect this year, and Dodgers, of course. They just keep getting the luxury, bro. They screwed up on their City Connect, and they're getting handed a brand new one this year.
Yeah.
Like, of course, bro. But that is all. Thank you, both Liam and Eric, Bat Boys, for joining us. You guys are absolutely killing it. I cannot wait to see the content you guys are going to make in 2024. And hopefully I'll cross paths with you guys at spring training. Hopefully I'll make my way out to DC, and we could possibly catch a game. That is all. So thank you.
Yeah. Hell yeah, bro. Hopefully we see you this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. You guys watching, listening, episode 59 is up next. You can listen to the episodes on Spotify and Apple every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, the video goes up Fridays on YouTube at 2 p.m. So make sure you guys got the notification bell for that.
Subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We'll see you in episode 59.
Flash, what's up?
Oh, what's up, Leo?
How we doing? I just walked in.
Oh, nice, man. That was perfect timing.